the woman there. Yeah, sorry.
How acceptable
And then
is
Chris.
how acceptable is it that in 2022 we have the Energy Minister asking Australians to ration their power?
Well, what I understand is that we've had a decade of energy ministers, multiple, who've delayed in denial any policy change that was required. We now have an energy minister who's actually doing his job, unlike what Angus Taylor did, which was to run around and boast, come up with pamphlets rather than come up with policies, not put in place measures that had that resulted in the investment that was required in the right places. We now have an energy minister that I'm proud is a part of my government.
Mr. Energy Minister, just before this press conference began, 56% of the national electricity market was being run by black and brown coal, 15% by gas. The wind on the market was less than 1/3 of installed capacity at 10%. In South Australia, 25%, which sometimes it can get up to 90%. So isn't part of the supply problem the fact that you cannot direct wind into the market? The only thing you can do is to keep the coal-fired generators going to their end of life and to fix the ones that you've got now and to include them in any capacity market. Isn't that the short-term fix?
I know that's been a long-held view of yours. It's not one I agree with. The problem is there hasn't been enough investment in renewable energy. The problem is there hasn't been enough... No, you've asked your question, Chris, so I'm going to answer it. There hasn't been enough investment in storage. Yes, you can say the wind doesn't always blow and the sun doesn't always shine. Well, the rain doesn't always fall either, but we manage to store the water. We can store the renewable energy if we have the investment. And that is investment that has been lacking for the last decade. That's the problem. Now, in relation to the short term, state and territory ministers agreed with me last week that we should proceed at pace, with the capacity mechanism. I asked, on behalf of all energy ministers, the Energy Security Board to proceed with that work at speed. They are doing that. I am very confident I'll be able to get agreement of states and territory ministers for a comprehensive capacity mechanism. I'll have more to say when that work is ready.
Last one.
Just back to David's question about the immediate term and demand management. AEMO, have been sort of signalling that now that they've taken control of the market, that the volatility of having to deal with the administrative headache, I guess, of dealing with power companies withdrawing their capacity from the market. Just for Australians watching this, how, we're assuming it will get easier to manage in the very near term. Minister, how much easier do you think it will get in the next 24 to 48 hours? And is that sort of a ray of hope that you're looking for, or are we still not out of the woods yet?
You mean like because of the change yesterday it'll get easier? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. And the fact that AEMO can now call in all the power that's available. They're not so worried about the economics of who's bidding and who's not.
Well, yes, it was done for the reason that it is the best way for AEMO to manage the immediate situation. It was not working. It was meant to be that the bids come in and where the bids were insufficient, AEMO would then react. It was too reactive and it was constantly reactive. It was the right thing to do for AEMO to step in and say, we are taking charge. As I said, I made it clear to AEMO yesterday, the Albanese government would back their decision, independent decision made by them, but we would back their decision because it was the best way of putting consumers first, not anyone else, the needs of energy consumers first. That's AEMO's job. That's what they've done, and they'll continue to do it.
Thanks very much.